See, is it going live? Looks like we're going live. So as you join in here, and it's going to take a second for everybody to get in. I know we send out emails and text messages, and it takes a second for everybody to kind of join in here. But I am so glad that you're joining in now. And if you're joining in now, go ahead and drop a comment into the comment section so that way we know that the comments are working. And I just want to say hello. So again, if you're joining in, this is a live stream unless you're watching this as a replay. So, if you're watching the replay, for those of you that are watching the replay, not now because it's live, but when you do, comment replay. I'm just curious to see who all is joining in post the actual recording. But I see we've got Naomi and Megan. Hey, what's going on? So glad that y'all are here. Then we got Anna. What's up, Kristen? Brett. Awesome. So glad that you all are joining me. And I'm just very excited to talk about tonight's topic because I know how much knowing these particular things has radically transformed my business. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Jeff. I'm a wedding photographer here in Kentucky. I started my business in March 15th, 2015. And at the time I was making, and in my day job, the job I was working, like $25,000 a year. I then, of course, started my wedding photography business. The first year in business, I didn't really get a lot of help. I kind of watched some videos and stuff like that. And I think like our first year, we technically made like $6,000, $7,000. That was charging $1,200 to maybe $1,600 per wedding. And I think we did like a free wedding, right? Well, 2016, we ramped it up massively. We got Mentor, and I want to say the first client I booked in 2016 was a $7,500 client. 2017, we hit six figures, and we're really officially full-time. So again, that timeline, March 2015, start, 2017, full-time hitting six figures. Now, everybody's welcome in this group, whether you're trying to hit six figures or a million figures, I don't care, or two figures, whatever it may be, you're welcome here. My goal for you inside of this group is that you'd be able to learn and grow your business and be able to develop into what I call the choosy expert, which is someone that works less while making more. This may look like maybe you stop shooting quite so many weddings and you have a clear path to charging more per wedding, right? That would allow you to work less and all that kind of stuff, right? And while making more. So if you like that, you like the idea, and you want to be a choosy expert, I just want you to go into the comment section and comment choosy. And look, these live streams are great because we get to do feedback, okay? And so I'm going to say some things, and if you don't understand it, I want you to say, hey, look, Jeff, can you explain that a little bit? Can you elaborate on that? Or, hey, Jeff, I got a question about this particular. I do allow questions throughout, okay? If it's not super relevant, I may save it till the end. And then I usually do a Q&A at the end. Also, another thing, at the very end, I'm going to allow everybody to comment their websites, and then I'm going to pull a website, and I'm going to do a live EasySEO audit where I actually look at your website and give you tips so that you can be well on your way to creating a better user experience that creates more of a good experience on your website so that you can rank as well as convert your visitors into fans. More money for your bottom line. I see we've got Megan saying choosy, Naomi saying choosy, Emma. Awesome. Love to hear that. So let's talk about what we came here for, which is engagement season. How you can get the visibility but right now so that you're ready when it comes time for engagement season. I'm not talking about, waiting, because if you wait on SEO, the thing is, it takes some time for SEO to really register. Now, how much time? When I work with people, I say, hey, look, we want to look for you to be ranking in about 30 to 90 days. So 1 to maybe 3 months. Okay, so I see some people that rank on the first page of Google in 30 days or less, but here's the thing. Here it is, almost the beginning of October, engagement season. That is when couples really start getting engaged. For a large percentage of us is, and I'm saying in a large number, okay? I know people are getting engaged all the time, but there's a big influx right around Thanksgiving through Valentine's Day. Now, if you're different and you're kind of like, well, my engagement season's different, that's totally fine. And actually, I want you to go into the comments and let me know, is your engagement season Thanksgiving through Valentine's, like I said, or is it something different? Let me know in the comments below. That's going to help a whole lot. Now, the reason why I say, hey, think about this now is because, again, if you are wanting to rank on Google and not miss out on the couples that will be using Google to do their planning, then now's the time to act. You should not wait on SEO, because SEO in the general SEO world, it's like 12 to 15 months to rank. 6 months is considered really fast. Okay, so you don't want to wait when it comes to SEO. Now, I know a lot of the people I talk to, a lot of our members inside this group say, I struggle to have like a step-by-step framework. Sometimes I feel like I'm taking shots in the dark. And look, I totally understand that. But here's the truth of the matter. If you focus on the things that improve your user's experience on your website, I'm talking about the things that help people to see your unique benefits so that you stand out, then here's kind of the trick. You do those things and you become an asset to Google because you are providing a good user experience. Now, yeah, you want to use keywords, and yeah, there's backlinks, there's heading text, there's all these things that you do want to focus on if you're going to have a robust SEO approach. But if you're just in the place where you're like, you know what, I know I want to work on my website and SEO, one of the best things I can tell you without working with you one-on-one is focus on user experience. Now, of course, here later, I'm going to give you a little bit of an idea of what that looks like and how to do that when we do our Easy SEO audit, the hot seat. So again, stick around till the end because we're going to be doing that towards the end. Now, I see we've got a few comments coming in. Natalia says during the holidays is the engagement season. Yep, I would say holidays. Again, for me, it's like Thanksgiving through Valentine's. We see a lot right after the New Year's, especially, I think, because you've got Christmas and New Year's, but also after Thanksgiving. Kristen says Thanksgiving till V-Day, and oddly, August. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about August. We don't get too much August, but now here's the thing. What we're talking about is not just you ranking on Google for like wedding photographer terms. Now, here in a second, I'm going to actually share my whiteboard and I'm going to give you a bit of a strategy here, because if you read in the description for tonight's episode, I talk about how you can sort of be the apex vendor. Now, this could be an Easy SEO episode all on its own because it's just such an awesome concept. And it's how I started developing my authority in my market more and more and more. And if you do this, you can begin to develop vendor relations where vendors see you more authoritative and they actually want to send you referrals versus, you having to say, oh, let me do free pictures. And not that any of that's wrong, but again, we want to try to network from a position of strength. So here's the reality of it. And I'm going to screen share here. Okay. And I won't be able to see your comments for a second. So if you do comment, just be patient. I will switch back over here in a second. But what you're wanting to do is you're wanting to, number one, you want to rank on Google. Okay. If you rank on Google, there are potentially thousands and thousands and thousands of searches that may find you. Now, here in a second, I'll kind of show you how to even figure out like how many potential couples might find you. Okay, I'll show you all that here in just a second, but just for now, know that when you rank, because you're ranking, you have a certain ability to begin building what I call the referral empire. Now, again, stick with me here. I'm going to explain all this. And when you have the ability to rank, not only can you rank and tap into the local search keywords, so when someone searches for, somebody give me a city, tell me which city you're in, okay? In my instance, Louisville. Okay, so if somebody searches Louisville wedding photographer, and if you give me your city here in a second, we're going to look at your market, okay, just to give you an idea of how valuable your keywords could be. So again, if you're watching, go into the comments, comment your city, because I'm going to be pulling somebody from there in a second to give you an example. But let's say they're searching for a Louisville wedding photographer. They can find me in what I call the organic search results. They can find me in Google My Business. They can find me in Google Images, and they can find me in the question section. And if they're on mobile, they can find me in interesting finds. These are all sections, areas of a Google search that they can see me multiple times. Okay, it's not just the organic search results 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's not counting ads. Okay, in this group, I don't really talk about the Google AdWords stuff. We're just not too focused on that. We're focused on the organic traffic because we're not paying for it. It really gives that sense of authority. It builds up a lot of that sense like, okay, this is one of the photographers, if not the photographer, at least of this style in this particular area. Who wants to be one of the photographers in a particular area? Not that you're serving everybody, but that you're one of the photographers for a particular style that serves a particular client in your particular area. If that's you, comment me. I want to know how many of us are serious, how many of us want to show up and be seen as an authority in our market. So again, we're ranking. Because we're ranking, okay, we have the ability to rank. What happens is we can actually even start ranking particular articles, like articles about venues or articles about planners or articles about, the top 6 wedding venues in Tacoma. Okay, when we have the ability to rank for these particular things, we begin to be seen much sooner, even more soon than, because guess what? The couples get engaged and they probably search for a venue first and or a planner first. But again, if we have the visibility because we're ranking, now we have so much more power to actually create our dream team because we're giving out the referrals. And I will tell you, if you want to build good vendor relationships, give referrals. Give referrals. If this is making sense, go into the comments section and comment makes sense. I'm just curious if you all are digging this, if you're liking this, because again, this is how you start to use Google, okay, which listen, Google requires some upfront effort, but it is not something you have to work on constantly. I don't really work on my SEO, and I haven't worked on my SEO for years. Now you can grow, and let's say you rank for one city and then you want to rank for another and then another. You can work on your SEO to tap into new streams of traffic. Like somebody I just talked to yesterday. She said, hey, look, I want to rank in this location, but in the next 5 years or so, I really want to move to Florida. And so, I'd like to be able to rank for this current location, but I would also like to go ahead and begin work on ranking in this place in Florida. I said, yeah, I have people that do that and I help them. It's totally doable. You can do it. I see we've got lots of me's coming in. We've got lots of serious people in here. Love it. I see we've also got some cities. So I'm going to be pulling from those cities here in just a second. I'm going to show you how you can start finding good keywords and how you can gauge how valuable those keywords are. So I know we've got Kristen saying me, Megan, Natalia, Kayla, Emma, awesome. Love that. We got lots of makes sense as well. Okay, good. So let's go ahead and pull a city. I'm going to scroll back up in the comments and let's see. We've got, let's do Charlotte. I think Megan was the first one to comment. So Charlotte, give me just a second because I'm actually going to pull up the program or the website, whichever you want to call it, that I'm going to use. And some of y'all may have seen this before. Even if you've seen this before, still stick with me. I'm going to show you all this and talk just a little bit more about engagement season and SEO and how it can help get you out in front of these couples before they even see or even book their venue or their planner or whatever it may be. So you can be the apex vendor. You're sort of the top of the food chain that is able to give out those referrals. So let's, we said Charlotte, I think it was North Carolina, correct? I'm pretty sure that's what we were looking at. So here in a second, I'm gonna screen share and I'm gonna show you how you can start gauging which keywords you wanna use. And I'll tell you all, listen closely because what I'm teaching you, I've seen people charge like $800 for. Okay, so what I'm teaching you for free, I have seen people charge a lot of money for. So listen closely because this is important. This is helpful. I really want you to get the most value out of this. So here it is, Uber Suggest. Okay. Now when you first type it in, so let's say you go to ubersuggest.com. And who's used Uber Suggest? If you've used Uber Suggest, just let me know inside the comments. I'm gonna see if I can bring my comments down to a different screen just so I can keep seeing what everybody's saying. Let me know if you've used Uber Suggest. Just go into the comments. If you haven't used Uber Suggest, why not? Have you just not heard of it? Do you find it confusing? Let me know. Now, I really only use a couple things on Uber Suggest, and I'll show you. So we go in and say Charlotte. I think I spelled Charlotte correctly. If I haven't spelled that correctly, you can let me know. So Charlotte wedding photographer. Okay, I'm just kind of taking a jab here because that's a lot of times it's the city and then what you do that people are searching for. So I've typed in Charlotte. Hopefully I have not spelled it incorrectly. Now, I don't really focus on this page too much. I just go here to keyword ideas. And it'll pop up and kind of give you a list of different keywords here. And we see like Charlotte wedding photographer, Charlotte wedding photographers, wedding photographer, Charlotte NC, wedding photographer in Charlotte NC. And then we have volume, so volume here, 480, 483, 90, 320. Now we could find more traffic here, but let's not do that. Let's just take that traffic. Okay, and here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my calculator, pull it up here, because we're going to do some simple math real quick. If y'all like math and you like seeing how much money you can possibly make, comment simple math for me, all right? A lot of times it's simple. It's the simple stuff that you focus on. We don't have to get real complicated. If you log into a tool like this and you go, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff to do, don't feel like that, okay? If you know how to use the essentials, the fundamentals, you can succeed with just about anything. So, and you should be seeing my calculator now. If you can't, somebody let me know. If you can see my calculator, awesome, let me know. I'm going to start typing away some numbers, typing some numbers here. So we've got what? 480 plus 480 plus 390. Okay, these are searches. These are searches for each of these keywords. These are different keywords. Does everybody make sense of that? Does everybody understand? That is 1,670 searches per month between 4 keywords. Now, you'll look down through some of these other keywords. Some of these keywords just don't have any search volume for them, right? We don't want to focus on the ones that don't have search volume. We want to look at ones that actually have search volume. So if we say, okay, well, how much is that a year? Well, times it by 12, because there's 12 months in a year last time I checked. I mean, this is 2021. Who knows? But 20,000 searches per year for these 4 keywords. Now, let's say you're able to convert maybe about 1.5% of those into inquiries. Okay, I hope we're not lagging. I'm seeing a little bit of lag. Obviously, my math is super complicated, so Zoom wants to freak out on me. But I think it's working, so we should be good. Okay, 300. So that's 300 inquiries. And let me know, how many inquiries do you get right now yearly? How would it change your business to get an extra 300 inquiries? So let's say, maybe on average, and this is something else I want you to comment. If you get 10 inquiries, how many of those will book? 5, 8, 2, 1? What's your booking percentage? If you book 3 out of 10, that's 30%. Most people I talk to will say around 30 to 40%. So for every 10, they're booking 3 or 4 weddings, every 10 inquiries, right? Now, if we apply that number here, okay, let's say 35%. Need to put my decimal, 35%. That's 105 weddings. You don't need that many weddings, probably, unless you've got like an associate program and you're, hiring out associates. So let's take a step back and let's go back to the 300 inquiries. Let's say right now you're only charging $3,500. I don't know, you might be charging $1,200. Everybody let me know. How much are you charging now on average? Comment, let me know. Curious to hear. Okay, so let's just say normally you're charging $3,500 and you book at a 35% rate. Let's say now you only book 10% of these and you've raised your prices by $2,000. Okay, so that's 30 weddings. Okay, and instead of charging $3,500, you're charging on average $5,500. That's how you make 6 figures in wedding photography. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? Again, if you like this, if you understand what I'm saying, go into the comments and let me know what you think about these numbers. And let me know, are you going to research your own market and to see what potential you might have in SEO? Now, if you are kind of like, hey, Jeff, I'd love somebody to walk me through this. I do what's called game plan calls. This is where we look at your market potential together. And then if you've got good potential and we're convinced, both you and I, that I can help you make a lot more money, then what we'll do is we'll talk about how I'm helping people rank on Google in 30 to 90 days by allowing them to go through my hand-holding experience I call the Easy SEO Pro membership. Now, if you've been to Easy SEO Lives before, you know how this goes. All you got to do is comment, reach out. I'll follow up personally. It's not a chat bot. It's not somebody else. It's me. I will follow up with you personally in a messenger conversation, and we'll just schedule a time, to look through your market together. And again, if the numbers are there, it's not always there for everybody. And sometimes your goals don't align with what I do. I like saying, hey, look, if you're looking to make an extra at least $20,000 to $30,000 extra per year, and you've got the numbers where you live for SEO, then I like that. I like the sound of that. If you're only looking to make an extra 5, 10, maybe 15,000, look, do album sales, increase your sales with albums or something like that. Okay. But I like helping people experience the drastic changes that I did. Okay. Which is making a lot more per wedding and making a lot more in general, so that you can become the choosy expert. Enough about that for now. I hope all this makes sense. I'm going to go back to the comment section because I know we've got a few comments dropping in. And then here in just a second, we are going to do our Easy SEO live audit. So do not comment your website just yet, because I'm going to go back and look at some of the comments and the questions that we've gotten. I know Scott gave us one. So Scott, I'm going to get to you in just a second. But here in a second, when I say go, then you can comment your websites, and I will be pulling a website from there in order to do a live Easy SEO audit hot seat. Okay, so just a second. We've got Scott says, what's a good way to rank for a city near me when my GMB, which is Google My Business, is listed in my home city? In other words, I want to rank for Santa Barbara, but I live and I'm listed in Ventura, California. Thanks for all the awesome content, Jeff. Awesome, Scott. That's a great question. And basically, Scott's question is like, hey, look, my Google My Business, I've got my address listed for location A, but I really want to rank in location B. Now, there's a few things there. And this is great, y'all. Actually, I think it was last week we talked about Google My Business and how to rank for Google My Business. Now, this is relevant because, again, if you're wanting to rank in time for engagement season, you need to work on this stuff now. Don't wait. Look, I know you're probably busy. If you're like many other wedding photographers, either you're real busy or you're not. Okay. So if you're not real busy, you better be working on marketing, because here in a little bit, the people that are busy are going to have more time to work on marketing, and they're going to blow you out of the water. If you're not busy right now, you should be working on your marketing, because you're going to be able to tap into some of that traffic that even your more established competitors aren't going to, because they're already too busy. Okay, so listen up, because I'm going to answer Scott's question here. Scott's essentially saying, hey, look, I've got my Google My Business in Ventura, but I want to rank in Santa Barbara. Now, there's a few ways you could go with this. You can rank for multiple cities, both with Google My Business and for your homepage. Now, one thing I might recommend for you is, if you're not shooting in Ventura a whole lot, is set it to service areas. You can change it from address to service areas. Now, you could also get an address in Santa Barbara and then now you don't want to use a UPS or a PO box. You got to have an actual address. So this one can be a little bit tricky, and actually put that in Santa Barbara. Or you could open up a new location inside of Santa Barbara, and then have a second location that the service area is focused on Santa Barbara. So there's a few different ways that you could slice that. For example, I have a Google My Business for Louisville, and I have a Google My Business for Lexington, and they're two separate locations, and that we rank for both of them. Now, that doesn't mean that even if you are in Ventura, that you couldn't rank your website for Santa Barbara. You can rank for Santa Barbara even if your Google My Business is in Ventura. Now, you might have a little bit more results and success, maybe if the two lined up. But I've seen people that don't even have a Google My Business in this city and state that they're then ranking for organic search results for. Now, Google My Business is huge, though. I think that Google My Business is often overlooked. It's like, oh, well, is that really where people find you? Surely they're doing the organic search results. I think a lot of people find you via Google My Business, actually. So just an encouragement there. And Scott, let me know if that answers your question, if that helps any. I know we had a number of people that said, hey, haven't heard of Ubersuggest. Just go to ubersuggest.com. I would sign up for a free account. It's kind of a useful tool. Very, very useful. Let's see. I know Kristen says that 300 inquiries extra would be monumental if I book 30%. Yeah, that would be insane. Okay, if you'd have to start an associate program. I'm not going to shoot 100 weddings per year. I think that's what the math is. I barely like shooting 30 weddings a year. It's a lot of work. That's why I raised my prices and cut back. And Natalia says, I've booked 2022 weddings of other photographer referrals. I haven't had much organic inquiries. Yeah. Okay. Cool. And then Scott said, hey, I'll definitely, I'll try the service area route and keep hammering away on the keywords for SB venues. Thanks, Jeff. No problem. Scott, glad to help. So here's what we're going to do now, y'all. And look, you can keep asking questions. If you've got some questions for me, drop them in the comments section below. But what we're going to do now is it's go time for our Easy SEO live audit. So what I want you to do, if you're interested in me personally right now, live, looking at your website, is I want you to go into the comments and comment your website. And then I need you to hit the like button like 50 million times. If you're feeling generous, hit the heart button, the love button, or I don't know, you can hit the care. If you're feeling angry, you can hit the angry button. That's up to you. But hit one of those buttons over and over and let it light up the screen, because we're going to jump in and do a live Easy SEO audit. So again, go into the comments, comment your website, only comment it once, okay? Commenting it like 50 times is not going to help you any, okay? But comment your website. Here in just a second, I'm going to pull one of those websites and we're going to look at your website. And I'm going to give you specialized insight specifically on your website. Now, if I don't pull your name, don't sweat it. Okay, don't sweat it, because guess what? Just by watching someone else's and watching me critique someone else's, you can gain tons. Okay, now while everybody is commenting your websites and hitting that like button, I do want to again say, hey, I have a fast track to success. It's the Easy SEO Pro membership. It is a paid program that, if it's a good fit, which we got to chat first, we got to talk, see if it's a good fit. I only want to work with people that I'm confident that I can help you significantly increase your revenue, significantly increase your ability to connect with ideal clients. If that's you, if you're looking to grow your business and you want to rank on Google in the next 30 to 90 days, I want you to go into the comment section right now and comment, reach out. Now's the time. Don't wait. Look, I would rather you rank sooner and tap into the holiday engagements, okay, the engagement season, versus you ranking after all that. And yeah, sure, it's going to still be good. It's not like it's the end of the world, but it's a lot more beneficial if you rank sooner. Okay, so how I help people is I help them improve their website user experience and branding experience in such a way that Google sees you as an asset, as well as you turn your visitors into fans more consistently, so they spend more with you, so you can work less, make more, and become that choosy expert. So again, if that's you, you don't want to waste the time, you value your time, and you want to take the fast track to success. You've enjoyed what we've talked about today. Comment, reach out. I'll follow up with you in a messenger conversation after our Easy SEO Live. It could be tomorrow, just depending, but let's go on to our websites now. So just a second, because I'm gonna grab a few websites and I'm gonna put them into my my name generator here. So just a second, because I do have to pull from that list. So bear with me just a second. It's called the Wheel of Names. I'll screen share and let y'all see it here in just a second. So let's see. I've got it was, I think it's Taya. I'm gonna go with Taya. It could be Taya. You can correct me. I'm cool with that. I say lots of names wrong. I've got Christine. Christine, I'm adding your name on here. Let's see who else I got. And by the way, if you're still thinking about it, you should totally drop your website. Don't be shy. I'm really nice. Promise I will not be harsh with you. Let's see. Kristen says she had a question about, I'm looking to move to Florida. Want to rank in Florida and Virginia. You need to have two separate pages. You need to have a page that's for Florida and a page that's for Virginia. Okay, so just a heads up about that. Again, there's deeper strategies we just can't go into now, but essentially that's sort of the baseline immediate advice I'd give you. Okay, we've got Natalia. Now here's the thing, y'all. If I pull your name, let's say you get drawn and you're not here, then I'm going to move on to the next person. So you need to stay here, okay? You do need to stay here. I've got Megan. Let's see. I've got... Let's see, Kristen. I've got, let's see, Emma. Is there anybody I missed? Anybody that I missed? I've got Taya, I've got Emma, I've got Christine, I've got Natalia, Megan. Maybe I already said Megan. And I think I already said Emma, right? So if I'd missed your name, let me know. I do try to I try to be pretty thorough because I don't want anybody getting mad at me like, hey, you left my name out. So I think we've got everybody though. So let me switch over. I'm going to screen share and we're going to look at our wheel of names here in just a second. Bear with me and then we're going to get started. All right. Wheel of names, here we come. And have to get my ever so classic drum roll ready. Here we go. Who's it going to be? Wheel of names. Oh. Oh, just barely. Just barely, Natalia. Hey. Congratulations, Natalia. And I do believe I just saw you comment, so I think you're still here. But again, go ahead and comment. Just let me know for sure, Natalia, that you are still here. And as soon as I see your comment, we will get started on reviewing your website. Now, again, this website review is focused on how do we create the user experience needed both for your ideal client as well as for Google. Okay, so I'm going to give you some tips here. These tips are for everybody. Okay, even if this is not your website, it's still going to be relevant. I see that Natalia is here. Natalia, I'm pulling up your website, so bear with me just a second. I think I got it. Looks like I got it. Yep, I think I got it. And let's see, I'm going to close a couple windows, so hopefully hopefully things don't freeze because we don't want them to freeze. So hold on just a second. All right, got some windows closed. Screen sharing, Natalia's website now. And I do believe this is your website. This is what you commented anyhow. So I sure hope so. All right. So first thing I notice is my eyes. Here's what my eyes kind of do. My eyes go here, now booking 2021, 2022, and then up here. And then I kind of focus on the picture. And I think the first thing that I really get curious about and the first suggestion that I would give you is what is the immediate benefit that's knocking the socks off of your ideal client here? Okay, so you got to think this is your absolute first impression that you're giving couples with your brand. So you have to put yourself in the mind of your ideal client and say, would this knock their socks off? Why or why not? Okay, so I just this morning did an ideal client avatar like worksheet just to hone in further on my ideal client. Because I know if I know my ideal client deeply, I'm going to have unique messaging that keeps them on my website. And you've got to create that connection as quickly as possible. Does that make sense? Let me know, y'all, if that makes sense. Okay, because I'm not saying that you're not doing that here, but I know my mind went now booking 2020, 21, 22 weddings. I didn't really even see this until later. This was almost like the focus. Is this what you really want to be the absolute first impression? Because that's where my brain went to. So what's the benefit there? What about that would excite your ideal client? Again, I don't know your ideal client. You know your ideal client. But to me, I'm just imagining it's probably a given that you are booking 21 and 22. So I don't know that that's repeating any sort of novel information or saying any novel information that's going to make your ideal client excited. Now, if you put some sort of specific brand keywords here that connected with the identity of your ideal client, now that would be something that would communicate to them some level of excitement because they begin saying, ooh, I'm drawn to this. You'd be surprised how many of the couples that I talk to, I know they've read my site and they're like, yeah, we like natural and candid. And they're just basically reading my website back to me because I've got these brand keywords, identity-based brand keywords baked into my website. So that would be the first thing I'd say you'd really want to hone in on is how can I immediately communicate some level of benefit? And look, people say benefit and it's like, well, what does that mean? Benefit should be something that shows them that you can guide them to the identity that they want to more fully establish an experience, right? So if there's someone that loves elegance, you should be the trusted guide and authority that can guide them to that. If there's someone that loves super unposed, candid stuff, you should be establishing that you have the special sauce to help them more fully experience that identity that these candid, unposed sort of photos are an extension of. So that's what you want to establish. Now, you can do this with your photos. You can do these things with your photos, but your copy has to be strong, because if you can draw them into your copy, you can communicate your humanity to them in a way that when they come to make their buying decision, you are the one that stands out. This is like higher level copywriting and marketing stuff, y'all. It's not just, hey, look at my pretty photos. Hope you like my photos. Hey, hopefully I don't offend you with my pricing, and other people aren't too much cheaper than me. And I hope you value me. And then you're left thinking, do I even value myself? Okay, and again, I'm not saying that's what you're going through, Natalia, but I can say that from experience, because that's what I went through at one point. Our first year of business was like, it's like torture. So again, more of the story is, be thinking about identity-based experiential benefits that you can communicate, and you want to do that very quickly. Now, another tip that I will give you is you want 3 things to be visible without having to scroll at all. That is your business name, you got that. What you do, you got that. And then where you're located, which you don't have. So make sure you've got those 3 things visible without having to scroll at all. That's good for your clients, or rather your visitors. That's also good for Google. Google wants to see that. So just another pro tip there. Hey, get your who you are, what you do, and where you do it visible without having to scroll at all. Again, I just want to encourage, if you got some questions as we go along, anybody, this is not just for Natalia. If anybody has questions as we go along here, go ahead and ask. Now, scrolling down, we see buttons. Okay. So like weddings, elopements, maternity, family, portrait. I think this is like selections, like the type of photography that you do. Well, let me know in the comments if that's correct. I don't like this, because if you're wanting to make good money in what you do, you really got to specialize. That doesn't mean you can't do the other types of photography, but a single page should really be focused on a specific type of photography. And I will tell you, most photographers that get established usually have one thing that they do primarily. Maybe they do something else here or there, but they typically have one thing they focus on. So, if weddings is what you want to be your main thing, then I would say make this homepage all about weddings. If they Google search, maternity photographer in your city, like, they can find that page that way. But let them find your homepage and let it be focused on weddings, so they feel like you're a guide for their wedding experience. So the tip there is to create focus so that people see you as more of a specialist. Now, your photos are great, and I think that you've done a good job at being able to, your photos look good. Like, your website looks like it's not too confusing or anything, but I would say, I would just really want to see more of like, you got to put yourself out here more. Because like we've scrolled down through here and there's no uniqueness being communicated yet. We haven't seen how you have these unique benefits. How do you differ from other photographers, and who are you? Who are you? Okay, so Megan asked, how do you make those 3 pieces of information look good and easily digestible to your client? For instance, I have an entire about me page. Should I have a block of info and a photo up front introducing myself? I would. It doesn't have to be exactly the same content, but you got to think what people need to experience is expertise, trust, and authority. That's what user experience is, according to Google. So if you're just saying, look at my pictures, look at my pictures, look at my pictures, you're not really bringing any humanity to the equation. So when people make a decision, they're going to compare you to 4 other photographers they put in their bucket. And then they're going to say, what? Well, who's the cheapest? Or who's the middle of the line? One or the other. Very rarely are they going to say, who's the most expensive? Probably not going to do that. So what you have to do is you have to introduce uniqueness and humanity to that formula so that when they go to make their buying decision, it's less about the pain avoidance of going with someone cheaper and more about, hey, we just have, for some reason, have this connection to this photographer. Now, you can do that kind of stuff in, when you meet for coffee. But I'll tell you, number one, that's harder to do. Okay. I don't meet any clients in person before they book now. I did that like my first, maybe second year in business, and then we stopped that. It's just too time consuming, eats up too many resources, right? So we'll do a phone call or a Zoom, right? But so much of that getting to know us happens on our website before they even inquire. So it's all about, how do I make that an auto process so they are drawn into my brand? That's what we want to do. But copy is incredibly critical here. Your copy is very, very important, because if they don't make a switch from just looking at your pictures to actually reading your copy, and then your copy has the DNA built into it that allows them to see that you are a trusted guide and authority with unique benefits. If you don't have that, it's going to be portfolio-based marketing. They're going to make their decision based on price, and you're going to have a bad day, unless you're the cheapest, or maybe they're making their decision not based on the cheapest, but more the middle of the line. Okay, then in that instance, maybe you win out, and guess what? We all win out every once in a while. But if we want to win out more often and charge higher prices, we've got to help them make their decisions more based on pleasure, the pleasure of investing in the humanity that they want to see in themselves. Because if you're marketing, you have convinced them, you've shown them, okay, like this person can help me see myself the way I want to see myself. This person, I see them and their humanity. Well, when they've got that frame of reference, that pre-frame, when they come to pay your prices, it feels more like they're spending money, like investing in themselves. So they're more likely to spend higher prices. They're more likely to spend more with you because it feels more like an investment into their future identity. Now, I come from a psychology background. That's why a lot of the stuff that I think about, it's from a psychological perspective. Right. So when I'm thinking about pricing and psychology and how I'm trying to cause people to be fans, I'm thinking about the psychology of it. So I hope that makes sense, Megan. Let me know if that makes sense. Let's go back one more to Natalia's page. We'll look at a couple things here. It's always fun to just kind of plop a website into Moz. So bear with me a second, because I'll probably have to log in, since I have not logged in today. Now, Moz, look, I'm not saying you need to use Moz. Moz is kind of good for a few things. I like using it for, really at this point in my life, I like using it just kind of see where a website's at right now in terms of its ability to rank. Now, it's not necessarily like the end all be all, but it's still kind of good to look at, and I can explain a few things. And it kind of helps put some things in perspective. So for example, like your domain authority is 1. Domain authority is a sliding scale of 1 to 100. 100 meaning you are like super trustworthy in the eyes of Google. 1 is like you just haven't built up that much trust with Google. So like right now, I'd say that your website there's a lot of stuff that can be done to help build up your authority. I mean, you can get backlinks, you can work on making sure you're verified with Google. And again, backlinks would help with this kind of stuff, strategic backlinks. And look, I'm giving you sort of the 50,000 foot view here, right? I also say on EasySEO Lives, I'm like, hey, like backlinks, it's not like the game of backlinks. Like I think I've shown people before, you go in, let's say you type in my website, okay, jeffmichellephoto.com, type it in, our domain authority is 24, right? It says we've got 296 websites linking to us. Now, let's just say, let's do the same thing. Let's do it for, say, the not.com. And I've got a rhyme and reason to this. And there's a lesson here that can help you a whole lot when it comes to SEO. So here's Moz loading. Let's type in the not.com, analyze, Okay, the not.com is a domain authority of 86. Has a 102.2 thousand websites linking to them, accounting for 21.4 million links. Okay, again, compared to mine, I've got like 1.2 thousand links. Okay, now with that being said, let's go to google.com. Let's search. Let's just give an example. So here's a search, an article that we have that ranks for a bunch of keywords. Notice it's the first thing that pops up, right? There's other websites, Brides, Martha Stewart, Wedding Wire. I think even The Knot pops up somewhere down here. Now, keep in mind, all these websites have like millions of backlinks, but yet ours still shows up, right? So it's not always about just getting more. That's why I tell people this is easy SEO. It's not about doing more than everybody else. It's just about doing the right stuff. And this is the type of stuff that I talk about during these lives, right? Now, this is the type of stuff I go super deep with my inner circle. That's what we do. We go in, we actually work together to set this stuff up. But again, okay, going to google.com. I don't know if anybody's using DuckDuckGo. I've started using them because they don't track all my data. And so, like, I don't know, I just feel like I'm selling all my data to Google. Here I am talking about how great Google is, and I'm like, not even using Google. Everybody's like, Jeff's a hypocrite. So Louisville wedding photographers. Okay, this is a keyword that we rank for. You'll notice here we are right underneath The Knot. And I will tell you, like, let's see, Wedding Wire. Here's Wedding Wire. Wedding Wire has way more backlinks than we do. Right? But I'm utilizing copy and the user experience in such a way that it's not the end all be all. It's not just, oh, well, who has the most stuff? Now, that's a hard game to win when it's just about the most. But if you have the right stuff and you have a way to analyze how people are interacting with your website so that you can create a user experience that's based on the data. Okay. Now, again, we talk about this on these Easy SEO Lives. This group is here for you to succeed. This group is here because I want y'all to be able to ask questions. I want y'all to have every opportunity possible to become a choosy expert. So again, if you're wanting to grow, you're wanting to get in touch with this engagement season traffic, that somebody's going to get it. There are some people on the first page of Google now that are going to get found. It could be you. Okay, but you are going to have to make the choice to, am I going to put in the work up front or not? Now you might say, how much? Well, it depends. If you're doing it on your own, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be a lot of shots in the dark, and it's really tough to measure any success. Now, that doesn't mean it's impossible. And again, if you focus on user experience and you're focused on, hey, how do I just make this awesome for my ideal client? You can make progress. And again, sometimes you can rank in 12 months. Now, I see a lot of people that just never rank. There's somebody that I met that they weren't utilizing my info. They had a call with me and said, yeah, I've kind of been in your group for a little bit now, and just I don't know what's going on because I've been trying to rank for like the past 4 years. I've been blogging like 3 hours every week, which sounds miserable to me. And they had only ever made it to the third page of Google. It's a lot of work for a little bit of payout. But then I've seen other people rank on the first page of Google in like 30 days. Now, again, these are people that I've worked with personally. I've helped them, but again, there's lots of good that you can do for your business just by creating the user experience, because even now you have people coming to your website that could convert better and that they may be willing to pay better prices. So that's typically the type of stuff that I like for people to work on versus, trying to scour YouTube and eating up all your time, because your time is so valuable. And again, I love working with people that say, look, I know my time is more valuable. So, hey, I want to take the fast path to success. And so, look, we've got the Facebook group. You can ask questions. We've got these weekly live streams that can give you tons of good info. And then we have the actual Easy SEO program where I handhold people in order to rank on Google. And again, you can comment, reach out. I'll follow up with you, and we can even just talk about that. It's just more of a conversation. So we're going to wrap up today's episode. All right. Let's see. Brett says, or Roy Seraphin, who's one of my pro members, who ranks page 1 for a big keyword in less than 3 weeks. Yes, exactly. I don't think Roy's watching. I think he's trying to recover. He's trying to recover from all the weddings he's been shooting. Which, I need to have Roy on. I'm taking it that Brett, you must know Roy. I need to have Roy on and talk about his ranking. Okay, he's went up. He's actually one of those people that's moving to Florida. I think he's in Indiana. I want to say Indianapolis right now. Roy, if you're watching and I'm getting all this wrong, I'm sorry. But I think Roy is in Indianapolis and he's moving to Tampa, Florida. And he came to me and said, hey, look, I'm kind of stalled out here. Oh, there's Roy. There he is, right? You can correct me if I'm getting this wrong. Roy, he's moving to, I hope I'm not giving out all your personal info. You're like, should have signed something like an NDA. But anyhow, Roy's ranking's been going up. Love seeing it. I haven't checked it like today. I think maybe checked it yesterday or 2 days ago. And, a few weeks in and he's like, what? I think for one of your main keywords, you made it up to like 24. He says, tell the masses. Yeah. Valparaiso, that's where he is. Yeah. And what's your address, social security number, and your favorite credit card number, by the way, as well. Roy. Okay. 21. So Roy is number 21, which is the second page of Google, I do believe. So I don't know, Roy, how long has it been since you did the changes? I think maybe like what? Is it 3 weeks now? Is it 3 weeks? Correct me if I'm wrong, but again, Roy, he's giving all the details. You're probably giving like somebody else's address, aren't you? So, but don't forget social security number and your favorite credit card number. Also need the security code on the back and all that good stuff. I joke. Please don't do that. Yeah. So about 3 weeks, Roy went from I think you were like up in the 60s. Then you made some changes. I don't know if it's been 3 weeks since you made changes or 3 weeks since you started the program. My memory is like the past, like I got sick and all that other stuff. It's been like a blur, but yeah, I mean, 80s. So Roy says he was in the 80s. He started the EasySEO Pro membership. Again, I'm seeing all this in the comments. He was up in the 80s. He started the EasySEO Pro membership in like 3 weeks. He's on page 2 of Google. Okay. 3 weeks. And I would look forward. I love the back and forth here. Brett says that's the address for Wrigley Field. All right. So Roy's not being honest here. He's not giving out his personal home address. Still being stingy with his social security number and his credit card info. But again, Roy, okay, he took the step. He's a pro member, and I need to have him on. We need to have special guests with Roy. Roy was up in like the 80s. Okay. And Roy, again, Roy, you cut me off here if I'm giving out too much info, but Roy had done other SEO programs even. Okay. And so Roy goes from like 3 weeks was starting in the Easy SEO program. He goes from the 80s to the second page of Google. And I'm really wanting to see you on the first page of Google by week 4. We'll see how that goes. But again, if you want to take the same sort of steps that like what Roy did to take his ranking seriously. And again, Roy's not even in Tampa yet. He's ranking in Tampa, but he's still living in Valparaiso, Indiana. Okay. If you're wanting to take sort of that fast path to success like Roy did, again, just comment, reach out. I will follow up with you in a Facebook message. Okay, this does not mean you're committing to buy anything. This means we're going to chat and talk. Now, I did see one. I think it was Natalia. Okay, I think Natalia commented. Yep, Natalia commented, reach out. And look, you'll have to forgive me if you commented to reach out earlier. Go ahead and comment it again. It'll make sure that I see it. Okay, but that's enough of that. Here's what I want y'all to walk away with for today. Focus on who's my ideal client. How can I make an awesome user experience for them? Okay, that's a great place to start. And if nothing else, if you make some leeway on that, then you're going to be better off during engagement season. But ideally, look, take your ranking very, very seriously. Or look, if you're not going to do SEO, take whatever you're going to invest in, whether it be Instagram or I don't know, whatever, TikTok. God save your soul. Take it seriously. And look, I have to rep on mentorship because I got a mentor. Okay, remember I told you that in my It was within my first year of business, but it was technically our second year. So 2015, we started. 2016, we got an inquiry after I rolled out what I learned from a mentor, a $7,500 client. What a change. Going from $1,200 to $1,600 weddings to $7,500 clients, y'all. And it's because I decided to step out of myself and invest money towards something that it was with somebody who'd been there, done that. They had already been there. And look, I'm not saying you have to do SEO, right? Like, look, if you're trying to add $5,000, $10,000 to your yearly revenue, get a monetizable picture, like where you deliver your galleries, like PickTime or somebody tell me other ones. I forget all. There's Smug Mug. I forget what other ones everybody likes. And Megan, I do see you commenting. Reach out. I will follow up with you. Have an awesome night. Look, if you're wanting to make an extra $5,000, $10,000, get one of those galleries that you can, send out promos on and just like set the markup to 3-4 times. You can make some extra money doing that. And then look, have a good way to upsell albums. You can make minimally, you can make an extra $5,000, $10,000 doing that. I think at least a couple $1,000s. So, if you're there, that maybe that's what you need to do. But if you're real serious about having this sort of long-term growth, okay, not that it takes 5 years to grow, but I'm saying you want an investment that you make the investment, do the upfront work. Now, doesn't mean that it has to be crazy hard. We're not talking about like building the Egyptian pyramids, but it is some work. You put that work in up front with SEO and it lasts for years. Okay. For me and my business, because I wanted to spend less time on my marketing and more time doing the stuff that I actually wanted to do, Google was the go-to for that. So we're going to jump off here. Again, thank you all so much for being here. Roy says, message Jeff. I've got no regrets. Again, that's Roy's words, not me. I am going to love his comment. I'm endorsing Roy's comment. So if you want to see Roy on, you can comment Roy. Even if you're watching the replay, maybe we'll get Roy on. We'll talk a little bit more. Maybe once he hits the first, I don't know. We can go ahead and have you on. But looking forward to the first page rankings. Natalia says Pixie Set. That's another one. Pixie Set. I don't know. Can you sell on Pixie Set? I have some friends that use Pixie Set. Just not sure if you can sell on it. There's a number of those. But anyhow, y'all have a good rest of the night. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have a great week. And look, this group's here for you. You let me know how I can help you, and I'm just so pumped. I'm pumped that you're here, pumped that everybody joined in. Y'all have a great rest of the week. I hope you would survive busy season, but don't neglect your marketing. Look, take care of yourself. Invest in your mental health. Okay, Roy, get you some rest, Roy. Roy wants to come on. So Roy, we're going to get Roy. Not tonight, but maybe next week. Roy, put it on your calendar. I'm going to have you come on. The masses demand it. But look, seriously, take care of yourself during busy season, okay? But don't neglect putting in the effort to continue your front end, to continue your marketing, to continue getting the type of clients that you want to work with, because ultimately, if you're investing in that, you're going to make more while working less, and it's going to be a worthy investment. So I hope that encourages you. Y'all have a great rest of the night. I think I've already said that like 3 times. I really do want you to have a great rest of the night. So until next time, here's to seeing you all rank on Google. Bye, everybody.